everyone, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. It really means a lot to me. I've had these products sitting around for at least a month because that's at least as long as when they had the sale. And what I'm talking about, well, you know, since you saw the title, why do I always do that? I'm talking about Uoma Beauty. I've tried one of their palettes before, and then they had this amazing sale. So I thought I would finally pick up their foundation and another palette. I also got the concealer. So this is called the Say What Foundation and the Woke Concealer. Now, I have to go over the foundation with you because it is very different in how they did the tones and the shades of it. They have 51 shades, a beautiful shade range, and I just found it interesting. It was a little difficult to try to decipher it. I'm used to just going for like the light, medium, neutrals, but this was a little different. I think it's a very good concept. Just takes a little bit of time to hopefully find your shade, and I have not even swatched this, nor the concealer, so I have my paws crossed that it is the correct shade. We're going to find out together. Then I have the two palettes. The Black Magic palette was the first one that I ever picked up, and it is an absolutely stunningly gorgeous palette. They are on the pricey side, and we're going to go over the prices of everything as we go through them, but this is the one that I have used and worn and love, and you guys have complimented me on it when I have worn it. The new one that I picked up is called, this one by the way is Savage. They're all Black Magic, but this one is Savage, and this one is Poise. This was the new one. I do have the outer carton, and it does match, except on the back of the outer carton it has the ingredients, and on the back of the palette itself it just has the name of it. These are the soft NARS type feeling packaging, which I absolutely love. This is a more neutral color story, which might be up a lot of more people's alley than the other one, but it does have a pop of bluish purple. I'm probably going to use this palette today since I haven't tried it before and I want to experience it with you on camera. But I want to go over this foundation. It comes in a beautiful glass bottle, frosted and with a really pretty blue cap on it. It has a pump, which you know all of us appreciate. I picked up the color Fair Lady 3TN. It has a fairly thick consistency. This does look a little bit yellow, even though I picked up the neutral. We'll see how that works. As I apply the foundation, I'm going to explain to you again a little bit about how you are supposed to choose your shade. I did mention that it comes in 51 shades. It does have alcohol in it. It does not specify what type, but it is very far down in the ingredient list, so it is not concerning to me. They call this a vibrant matte finish. Definitely yellow toned, even though this is a neutral color that I chose. Wow. First, like application, it goes on beautifully. So the way they did this is they have the categories of dark brown skin, rich tan, olive, fair skin, and very fair skin. This gives beautiful coverage. Now they do say that it is a matte foundation, but it does not look drying on my skin. It gives beautiful coverage, as I said, in just the one pass. Now according to them, they say that certain tones of skin have certain skin issues that they're going to address with each of the formulas in the foundations. Now remember, so the foundation that I have has a specific formula to supposedly my type of skin. Mine says it's specifically formulated for fair skin. The most common concern with this skin type is premature aging, and the most common type is dry combination. Now that is not necessarily always true. I know plenty of people with my skin tone who have super oily skin, so I'm not sure I agree with that. So I'm thinking T2N would probably be a better shade for me. And you know, I may go ahead and try to order it, but for right now, I'm just going to stick with what I have and use my mix mediums. $39 is your average price for, I'd say, a medium tier brand. Their eyeshadow palettes are expensive also, but I said they had an amazing sale, which is why I did pick this stuff up. The good thing is they do have all of the undertones. They have the warm, they have the olive, they have the neutral, which a lot of brands don't always address, so I love that aspect also. The next thing that we have is the Woke Concealer, which looks like it's also going to be too dark maybe. It's actually the Stay Woke Concealer. It is $29 and I also got T3. It does come in 19 shades and they are calling this a full coverage lightweight satin radiance concealer. Yeah, this is going to be too dark for me too, but again, I'm not really concerned about it. Actually, for the base without lightening, it's really not bad. I changed my mind. It has not a thick consistency, but it's not watery. I don't see any cakiness in the mirror whatsoever. I think it went on beautifully and I think it covered quite nicely. I am going to put maybe a lighter concealer underneath. I haven't decided yet. Okay, I still see a lot of darkness underneath my eyes, so I think it's okay. I'm going to try layering it, but again, it's a little too flat of a concealer. I need a little brightness, but let's try it again. You know, sometimes if I put too much on, it just looks heavy and cakey. I definitely still see some darkness underneath my eyes, so I may fix that with another concealer. I am going to go into the other room, powder, and just put some bronzer on, and I'm going to come back and we're going to get into that palette, which I'm very excited about. Okay, I am back. So I bronzed up with my Morphe Contour palette because I hadn't picked that one up in a while, and I also primed my lids with the CoverGirl Lid Lockup. It's not as opaque as I usually like, but it does have a nice sticky base and I have been enjoying it. In my Simple Human mirror, which is the true tell-all of how everything looks close up and sometimes not so friendly, everything looks okay. The foundation looks good. It really doesn't look cakey. The concealer is okay. I'm definitely going to use it, but I see that I'm definitely going to have to layer it with something else. But it is a nice formula. Getting into this palette, again, it is called Poise. They do have another one in the Black Magic series. We have Uoma, Regal, La Serene, and Magical. Yeah, that is pretty magical. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this one. Is Yemqja. I don't want to butcher it. Then we have Ija, Poise, and Mother. They feel creamy and they swatch beautifully. They also are hard to get off your hand. The last two are Feminist and Black Y'all. Black Y'all is kind of dry and it took about 3 passes to get that opacity. But that doesn't always say much about how it's going to work on the eyes. As for brushes, I am using my Morphe and my Lorella Cosmetics brushes and also one Wet n Wild brush because that happens to be what I have in front of me. They've kind of become my filming space brushes so I don't have to carry a million things out into my little corridor. I'm going to take Uoma and I'm going to put that as my transition color. And it picks up beautifully. I'm using a Morphe M330. It is definitely darker on the lid than it appears in the pan. You do not need to dip a lot into that color. That was just with the one dip, and now I'm also getting some color on the other eye. I am going to run that same color on my lower lash line with my new Wet n Wild brush. This is from the My Melody and Kuromi collection. This brush is well worth the purchase, by the way. It is dual-ended, and that makes it a little difficult to store, but it is definitely worth it. Instead of going for the blue, which is what I always want to do, I'm going to go with this quad here. Using my favorite Morphe brush, this is the M330, and I'm going to go into Mother for my crease color. Somebody did say to me in one of my videos, you sound basically computerized like a robot. Is this how you do all of your reviews? Like, I kind of think I'm personable. Yes, when I'm trying to get to the facts, I'm pretty straightforward and, you know, I try to use my intelligence level, but I was like, well, that's a new one. But again, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I just don't have to agree with it. Even with the magnifying glass, I can't read this. I believe it is in Morphe M330, but oh boy, I cannot tell. I'm going to go into Feminist, and I'm going to put that on my lower lash line to darken it up a little bit. I'm going to take La Serene, again with my Wet n Wild brush, and I'm going to put that on my lid. These definitely do not need any help applying them. You can use your finger or a brush. I like both. I love the precision of the brush, of getting it exactly where you want it, but sometimes I do like the intensity of using my finger. It goes on so easily and just beautifully. Now, as I said, these palettes are expensive. They are $44. I do think they are worth it, but again, getting them on sale, getting anything on sale and not having to pay full price is always the way to go, in my opinion. Using my Lorella Cosmetics flat shader, I'm going to take Magical, this gold glitter, and I'm going to use the brush first to see how it works. OMG. Is there another word for wow? And that's with a brush. I honestly do prefer shadows that I can use with the brush, because a lot of people also, you know, may have longer nails that using their finger isn't always optimal. So if a shadow can go on beautifully with the brush, but look what I just did with my finger. I mean, really? I mean, it doesn't get any prettier than that. Take the Lorella Cosmetics. I want to dip into the black because I'm curious to see how it's going to perform. Just a little bit to deepen up the edge. See, now it goes on so much nicer on the eye. That's why swatches are important, but not everything. And look, just that little bit of black really gave that some dimension. The only thing it doesn't have is a more highlighty color for me to add on my brow bone, but that's okay. I will accomplish that with some highlighter, and speaking of which, I'm going to go finish off the rest of my makeup. Now I can actually do my blush, now seeing the eye look that I have. That's what I like to wait to do is, you know, if I just throw on a blush, then I kind of got to go with that theme. But if you do it second and after your eyes, then you have a lot more options. I will return with the look and my final thoughts. Hi everyone, I am back. So I finished off the rest of my makeup. I will list what I am wearing on the rest of my face below. But I have to say I'm in love with the eye looks. I knew from the first palette that this was going to be just as good and just as beautiful, and has more neutral colors which might appeal more to more people than a more colorful palette. And I'm happy with it. $44 is a lot of money, but as I said, if you can get it on sale, I highly recommend it. The foundation is nice. I will definitely be using it again. The concealer, it's just okay to me. It's not a favorite of mine. I will definitely make it work because it doesn't cake underneath my eyes, but I will have to layer it, and that's something that I do often with other concealers anyway, so that's okay. I was going to order my proper color in this, but especially that it's not on sale right now, I'm just going to use my mixing mediums. Overall, it didn't turn out badly once I put on the rest of my complexion products. I would love to know your thoughts on all of these products, what you tried, what you're looking forward to try when you're hoping for the next sale. I want to thank you again for joining me. You are, once again, the most amazing people I have never not met. I hope you're all healthy and well and staying sane in these crazy times. And of course, my friends, whatever part of the world you're in and around, I hope you have an amazing day, an amazing week coming up. I will see you soon in my next video. Much love. Bye.